and welcome back to Coach's Corner. My name is Luca Vitale, alongside me Adam Lewis, Coach Bob Bucher, and Eli Baumstark. Guys, what a series win. You guys took down 11th ranked Missouri State. You guys are 8th ranked now. Just sort of talk to us, like, what message you guys just send to the committee, with the ACHA committee that is, with this series win?
Well, you got to go back to where we were first ranking, right? We were not sitting where we wanted to, and a part of it was not fully comprehending or understanding what we needed to do in terms of finishing off opponents, games, scores, all of that counts. It's important. This message from the wins with Missouri State is huge. Unfortunately for us, we're not going to play any of those 1 through 5, 6 guys this year. So making it further up that ladder is going to be difficult. But I think being in the 8 hole is a true definition and identification of where we are. I think it's right.
Yeah, I agree with you. You guys definitely did send a message, and obviously climbing that ladder where like a Grand Valley State is or a Hope College, definitely going to be tough to sort of climb them, as they're some of the best programs in the nation. But let's sort of talk about the youngsters that sort of stepped up this series, and like a Charlie Walker and an Aaron Hemmer. What sort of impact did they make in this series?
They made a huge impact in the series. I don't know if you noticed last night, we had to make a line adjustment with Knapp and Spolik because they had one line that they put out against those 2 guys to keep them in check. So we had to separate those 2 and give them a little space. So needing Nate, needing Charlie, needing Hemmer, needing Zimmer, Miles, all those guys, we need them all. Everybody's got to pitch in because you don't know when you're going to run into somebody being shut down like a Knapp or a Spolik. So it was huge. If you're not a fan of Charlie Walker's, you need to be a fan of Charlie Walker's. I can't wait to see him because he continues to advance.
Yeah, Charlie Walker definitely has gotten to that next level for this team, and definitely something important as the season progresses. But let's sort of talk about how you are a former head coach at Missouri State, and you were very monumental in building that program. You transformed their D2 program into D1, and you actually appeared twice in nationals for that D2 team. Can you sort of just talk about what were the emotions going into this series for you?
I'm a guy that holds grudges, and that situation has been very emotional for me since the day that we separated and I went back to St. Louis to coach. For me, it was an opportunity to just kind of rub their face in it a bit. For us as a program, it was taking that next step and an opportunity to sweep what was, at the time, the best team in Missouri in the ACHA. I think this is the first time Mizzou has swept Missouri State. So this weekend's huge emotionally for me. What about you?
I agree. I think it's a huge win. Not ever since I can remember has Mizzou swept Mo State, so history for us.
You guys did play a really great game, and obviously that first game you guys did win. However, it looked like you guys were a little outmatched. I felt like Missouri State did play a better game, and they should have won that game. However, tonight you guys did have the better game, and you also won. But a win is a win nevertheless. Let's sort of talk about these younger, and the goaltending. Let's talk about Tanner Richardson and Jack Dobbs for a second here. They returned early season form. They played great against WashU, and they played great again tonight. What's just the importance of having a 2-headed monster in the crease?
It's great to have them both running on full cylinder. Because there's only 2 of them, the chances of running into a situation where one's not on their game become frequent. But with these 2 guys, all season long, they've been, it's give or take, it's a 1 and 1A. And to have that backing you up as a player and as a coach, there's never any question when one of those 2's in the net. So it's huge for us.
Definitely. And before we get the man of the hour in here and Jack Dobbs, as that was something special. I mean, that dude was probably man of Jefferson City tonight, besides just man of the Mizzou Club hockey team. I mean, it was something special to really watch. But before I give it to Adam here, I just sort of want to just mention how you guys, it almost looks like you guys have just gotten better each and every single game. And Jack Hazelton did speak to me earlier this week and how you guys practice even harder than they usually guys do in terms of physicality in a practice. What impact did that have in these two games?
Well, I think we all saw firsthand that Missouri State's a physical program. They play tough, hard-nosed hockey, and you have to be ready for it. And quite honestly, that's what we're going to have to be ready for when we end the season, get into post-season, and make that trip for nationals. We're going to have to be ready for that hockey. It's certainly what they do up east and the north as well. So you don't want to be caught sleeping when you walk through those doors. And practices have stepped up. Our conversation in a meeting Tuesday night was right now we're only 35-40% committed to the things that we want to do. And if we get to that 70 or 75 number, it's going to be huge for us, I would say we'd probably max out at 85. If we reach that, well, then you're looking at national champions, So it was a good conversation. I think you guys all got it, understood it, and we just have to put our noses and our hearts in it, and we're good to go.
Eli, obviously, as a player, you went through those practices. Can you just sort of just briefly explain what were those practices like?
There was a little bit of an energy in the air. I think everybody was just excited. They knew what this weekend meant, and we all knew what this I knew what this weekend meant. The coaches knew what this weekend meant. It was the real deal. Everybody came to practice ready to work, just excited to play hockey, and I think that really stepped up our game a lot.
No doubt.
Everybody's just excited.
All right, I'm going to give it to Adam here. So, Adam, I'm going to just pass the mic around so that way it's just a little bit easier for you. So go ahead and just fire some questions.
Yeah, so my first question, and I think probably the biggest takeaway from not only this weekend but from the past series that we've seen, is I think the penalty minutes still kind of continue to be a trend that we've seen so far with this team, and that, sometimes when the frustrations boil over, things get out of hand, the penalty minutes start to rise a little bit. Besides bag skating these guys on Tuesday night, maybe is there any words that you kind of say in those moments to try and keep everybody level-headed?
I think the biggest thing is you have to look at where things start, right? So last night, the trigger was a very bad call on Miles Morris. He wipes out. Unfortunately, as he's sliding across the ice, he takes somebody out, and they call a tripping penalty. Well, that set the tone for the next 12 minutes of the game, where the referees were then calling things they didn't see. And tonight, in my opinion, the referees lost control from moment one, and they fought to gain control, which is why so many penalties were called. I think in a normal situation, we probably would have ended up with probably half the calls, but you can only do with what you have on the ice with refs, and unfortunately tonight they lost control. So
I think we really figured out what we need to do tonight. We had a little bit of a conversation, and after last night, my misconduct and Nick Spolek's tonight, I think we both kind of looked at each other and then looked at everybody else, and we realized the solution to our problem was right before our eyes.
Yeah, definitely something. Adam, what else you got?
Yeah, and just one more question for you here. You were talking a little bit earlier about the line changes that you made. You said you wanted to try and open up Knapp and Spolek. And obviously we look back at the freshmen and that second line, really, Austin, Walker, and Hemmer, who've just been on fire the last 3 weeks or so. But one player I kind of want to turn the focus to is Brett Zimmer, because throughout the month of November, I really thought he stepped up in a huge way and was playing some phenomenal hockey, and you gave him the go-ahead tonight in the starting lineup, and he jumps on the scoreboard early for us. So, I mean, just kind of give your thoughts on what you've seen out of him the last month or so to give him that development and that growth in this team and in the lineup.
I think this year is different for Zims. He didn't have a lot of confidence in himself last year. This year, he's got the support of the coaching staff. He's got the support of his teammates. He's a great character guy as well as a really, really, really solid player. And I think the difference now is that acceptance in his own head. He knows everybody likes him. He knows everybody knows what he can do on the ice, and he's getting those opportunities. And it's just a better feel for him this year. He's one of my favorites. He has been since the day I saw him, so first day. So I think there's bigger and better things to come from him as he continues to grow.
Yeah, like Coach said, he's just really been pulled together by his teammates, I think. He's grown into his shoes a lot more. He's a lot more comfortable around everybody else, and it's really made him a pleasure to be around on the team. And I think everybody's really enjoying how he's playing and how he's been this year. It's pretty amazing.
All right, I do want to get the man of the hour over here. All right, now we got Jack Dobbs, the man of the hour, in this show. So, Jack, could you just sort of talk to us, like, what was going through your head the moment that scrum just sort of just happened? What happened exactly?
Well, it had been building all game, I think. Clearly, I mean, I had beaten them in the past 2 years. I've had their number all the past 2 years, and they clearly came out with a game plan to try to get in my head. And, I mean, you could say at work I got kicked out, but there was, I mean, all game there were sticks in my crease. I got hit in the face several times. Then finally the last piece of it was the guy came up and cross-checked me in the chest. And so I just wanted to get up in his face and let him know I wasn't scared of him. And then he decided to grab me. And then once he grabbed me behind the head. So I just, let a few loose there and took him into the corner. And then the rest you can watch on the stream. But it is, it's a heated rivalry, and it was a heated game throughout and a heated weekend. Definitely boiled over there, but I'd like to think we finished things tonight.
You definitely did, and I just sort of want to ask, like, what was the reaction from the bench the moment that you took your gloves off and just started throwing a couple of punches?
Everyone was pretty psyched. Everyone seemed to be pretty happy with it. I was a little nervous because I was like, I just got kicked out of the game. I felt really bad about it, but everyone seemed to be pretty happy with it and understanding and knowing that, at a certain point, if the refs aren't going to do anything to stop them, I got to stand up for myself. And, that's what happened tonight.
So, Eli, I'm not sure if you were on the bench or on the ice at the moment, but what went through your head exactly?
Are you talking about the whole situation, or? Okay. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't out there. I was on the bench watching, so I didn't see the play exactly develop. I saw a lot going on, and there was so much going on. I watched Dobbs, and it really made me upset, obviously, because he's our goalie, and we got to stand behind him and everything. But then all of a sudden there was just something else in the corner. So there was really a lot going on. I don't even know what to say. I mean, I'm at a loss, just flabbergasted, essentially.
Yeah, before you actually exited the ice, you made sure to do one last thing, and that was to hype up the crowd. What did you think of that reaction from the crowd?
Oh, I loved it, absolutely. I mean, we had a great showing for both nights this weekend. We had a great showing all year at every single game. And, when you do something like that and you're getting off the ice, and I had to pay homage to a little Sean Carrier last year, and I looked up and everyone seemed to be really happy. So I just, gave them a little something to get a little more excited, and it worked. And coming off the ice, everyone was just congratulatory, and I'm glad we pulled out with a win to really complete the night. And I'm a little upset I didn't get to finish the game, but I'm glad that we got done with we took care of business tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just sort of want to just talk about, because Adam and I have been talking about this a couple of times, just the importance of goaltending just going throughout the season. Obviously, you and Tanner have been tremendous throughout the season, but I sort of want Adam to sort of take over the reins for these sort of questions.
Yeah, and first off, I just want to talk about your situation in the game tonight. You always, as a former goalie myself, you always love to see it when they're getting in there and kind of taking over and defending for themselves. So I thought that was awesome to see tonight. I love to see that. But, yeah, going back to the goaltending with yourself, I mean, I want to kind of not to talk bad about Tanner Richardson and the things that he's done, but last year it almost seemed as like you were the true number one goaltender for this club. And then I really think this year he's kind of challenged you a lot more and really turned it, as Coach Bucher said earlier, into that 1A, 1B situation with you two netminders. So I just kind of want to get your thoughts about, just how you guys are battling in practice every day and going to war for each other, and just kind of the relationship that you two have built over these last couple of years together.
Yeah, I mean, first I'll just say Tanner's awesome, and we've been, in the same room for over 2 years now, and or about 2 years now, and I mean, Tanner's just fantastic. The improvement he's shown over the last 2 years is incredible, and he's really stepped up, and it's good for me to have a little bit of competition and to keep me fired up and to keep me wanting to work every day in practice. So it's great. I love it. I'm glad we have two goalies, and I'm glad that we're winning every single game, because we need two goalies to win every single game that we're coming across here. And we've been on a tear recently, and we had one little dip against Purdue, but this is a great team. It's got two great goalies, and I mean, I'm fired up about it. Yeah.
All right, last question. I know it was the Wash U series, but I never got to ask you personally. I got to ask Jack Hazelton, though, earlier this week about it. Against the Wash U series, Michael Christopher got to come in the net, and I thought that was pretty awesome. What was it like just letting him in the net as you just went for the bench? Because it was pretty awesome to see.
Well, yeah, it was just great. It was kind of the game plan going into the weekend, with me scratching on Friday to get Michael in the game, and then Tanner scratching on Saturday to get Michael into the game. And we knew once we took control and we had absolute control over the game that we would put Mikey in and get him some reps. And that's what happened. We took control of the game. It was out of our hands, and we were able to turn it over to Mikey. And I mean, he played phenomenal. He has the best save percentage out of all three of us, and he is it was awesome being able to come off the ice. And once that 10-minute mark in the third period came, I was just so excited, because I was like, oh, it's Michael Christopher time. And I was tapping my stick on the ice. I was hyping up the crowd, because he deserves it. He works so hard. He's one of the best locker room guys that we have, and he's one of the favorite teammate of everybody else on the team. So we love to see him get into the game, and he's a fantastic goaltender as well. And we should not overlook that at all. That he came in and he stopped every shot he faced, and that's all you can ask for.
All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in to Coach's Corner. Be sure to follow us on social media and visit our website. My name is Luca Vitale, alongside me, Adam Lewis, Jack Dobbs, Eli Baumstark. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next weekend.